Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics and Young Classics. This is episode number 1495 and Doubleshot number 1389. Now, I have a Batman book and a book by a Batman writer. First up, the Batman book. We go back to the year of 2009 with Batman Long Shadows. This collects issues 687, 691. Excuse me. This is done by Judd Winick. Yes, Judd Winick. As in the guy behind books like Under the Red Hood. And he also did the very first 12 issues of Catwoman. The guy himself is not a bad writer. This actually is pretty good. This is simply put, basically, well, it's focusing on the Dick Grayson Batman. And as you can see, now you're probably wondering, what is up with Batman Reborn? Excuse me. There is an explanation for this. Final Crisis happened just prior to this, and during the course, I think it was in the penultimate issue of the miniseries, Batman apparently died. Well, according to the people in the universe, they think he's dead. The reader, according to the readers, nope, he's not dead. So, for pretty much a year, we had sort of Batman being dead, even though he really wasn't. Yeah, and the finale of that miniseries led into Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne happening 1 year later, written by Grant Morrison. This particular storyline comes immediately right after the events of Battle for the Cowl. It's simply put Dick Grayson's first days as Batman. Of course, this storyline would set up some stuff that would basically plug in a lot of the Bat books. Excuse me. Now, if you're curious though, now, yes, this is during a period of time when Damian is in fact Robin. But here he's not Robin just yet. This is set just prior to the Batman Robin ongoing series. We have basically Batman like fighting Casino. He ends up fighting a lot of this book Two-Face. And Two-Face is wondering, who are you? You're not the Batman I know. Yep, he's wondering that the whole period of time. And we also have something here that basically shown a lot of the Bat books. You see, in the finale for this storyline, we have Dick Grayson and Alfred shutting down the Batcave and moving the operations to the Bat Bunker, which is pretty much where Dick Grayson operated when he was basically the Batman Gotham City for the next couple years. And when he's trying to take down the Robin, the Moira for Jason Todd when he was Robin, he's trying to go, this is very hollow. And he takes a blowtorch, he opens the thing, there's a flash drive in here. And it was something related to the Graysons with their death. And here's something really weird though. Right after this issue, Judd Winick left the series. And this was a plot thread that was never resolved. Because right after this, Tony S. Daniel remained the writer on and off for pretty much the rest of the run up until the relaunch in 2011. Yeah. The storyline itself is really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, Tony S. Daniel is, well, he is not one of the artists of this book, but he does take over after this one. The two storylines here, Bad Within, Long Shadows. Bad Within is done by Ed Baines, and the rest of the book is done by Mark Bagley. Yep. Because that's simply what these issues are. It's simply put what happened immediately just after the Battle for the Cowl miniseries wrapped up. Yep. This book is great. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah. So, with that book, I reviewed, well, just the first portion of Dick Grayson's time as Batman. I reviewed this book, the book that came after this one, which was Life After Death. There's technically about 3 books left. I'm going to cover 2 of those books in a future episode. In a future episode. Well, I'm going to cover one of them. Yeah, I think it's like one of them. Actually, no, it would be 2 of them. Because, well, the other one I don't have, but I'm going to kind of cover the issues that are in it. Alright, next up it is Swamp Thing, Volume 3, Rot Kingdom. Rot Kingdom, the Rotworld, the Green Kingdom. This, of course, is the finale for Scott Snyder's run for Swamp Thing, collecting Swamp Thing Volume 5, issues 12 to 18, Animal Man Volume 2, issues 12 and 17. The Animal Man issues are done by Jeff Lemire. Now, why is Animal Man 12 and 17 here? That's part of basically the start and kind of the ending of Rotworld. Rotworld is simply put like basically the best way to describe it. It's mostly half pages of Swamp Thing and Animal Man. It doesn't happen in their book, just these two. And one thing neat about this crossover is that both books built up this storyline for about a year. And it is an epic story. Yep. Now, the artists for all these issues, well, there's a bunch of artists. I have Yannick Perek, I recommend this guy, really nice person. Steve Perug, Marco Rudy, Andrew Belliner, Dan Green, Andy Owens, Timothy Green II, and Joseph Silver. The cover art is done by Yannick Perek, Steve Pluck, and Nathan Faborn, who was actually one of the colorists of this book. Yep. I mean, despite the fact this is a self-contained story where it loosely crosses over with anime, it feels like a big epic story. That's the whole big thing about this. And basically we get some stuff we see later on. Like, at one point in the storyline, we actually have Abigail Arcane apparently dying and then becoming Avatar of the Rot. Originally, it was her uncle, Anton Arcane, who was the Avatar, and then she overthrew him and became a new Avatar. And also had this weird scene during it where apparently we have Alec Holland back as human, where he lost his arm and him and Abigail are both naked on a field. Like, is it implied these two had sex? I have no idea. They're just basically just magically naked. But in the Rot World, so basically everybody was become infected by the Rot World, where there's actually people like Poison Ivy, Steel, Beast Boy, and a few other superheroes fighting against this is basically into the Rot World. Eventually, I think it's all undone by the end of the story arc, which is really good. And, well, it's a nice, really good conclusion to this really good run of Swamp Thing. I mean, this is a run that people will tend to, like, talk about a lot. This is one of few runs of Swamp Thing. The other one, Charles Shaw run, is definitely gets a lot of buzz. Even to this very day, it still does. And Alan Moore's run for Swamp Thing. Yep. Yes, it does. And these three are the only runs I can think of for Swamp Thing that still to this very day still gets lots and lots of buzz of people saying, check this book out, it is so freaking good. And yeah, it is. And this pretty much wraps up Scott Snyder's run. It's only 18 issues plus an annual. Oh yeah, they also threw in people like Man-Bat, Barbara Gordon in like a futuristic version of Gotham City. But this book is just so fun. I love it. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. And what happens to Swamp Thing afterwards? Got taken up by Charles Shaw for the remaining 22 issues of the series. Well, this volume anyways. And excuse me. It did have an annual come out. And then when the thing ended in 2016, these issues came out, well, basically, I think came out like about 2013, I think it was. These issues came out. Yeah, I think it was like 2013 when Scott Snyder wrapped up his run for Swamp Thing. And the book itself, like I said, wrapped up in the year 2015, but it was brought back during DCU as a 6-issue miniseries, believe it or not, done by one of his co-creators, Leen Wein. He wrote it. It was a 6-issue miniseries, which was really good. I highly recommend checking it out. And of course, we do have another Swamp Thing miniseries right now, a 10-issue maxi series done by Ram V. It is, I think it's about 3 issues in, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I believe so. I'm just taking a look at it right now. No. Here it is. I believe it's about 3 or 4 issues in because it's not that long. It's only 10 issues. I'm hoping, though, for the final issue that they proclaim it the 300th issue of the series, because if you count how many issues this series has put out, yeah, it's basically 300. It's actually put out only 5 issues. We're roughly halfway through this volume. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say about 2 trades. It's both really good. And you're probably thinking, wait, a comic corner and you're proclaiming how good this is and it's only 10 minutes? Well, just check it out. You'll love it. The thing is, the Swamp Thing book, that's probably pretty easy to come across because I'm sure it's still pretty affordable to this very day. But in the case of Long Shadows, that one will be kind of difficult to get your hands on because I checked on Amazon a while ago. This book was like a lot more expensive because this book, I think, is out of print. Yeah, I think it's out of print. The book came out like a decade ago. So, yeah. So, not much to say with the 2 trades. They're both really good and do recommend them. Okay, so that. Oh, by the way, my final thoughts on Scott Snyder's run for Swamp Thing. It is really, really good. Nothing really bad about it. It's just basically just a really good complete story. And you can kind of say I can get my final thoughts on Winick's time on Batman. Because here's the thing. What did this guy do for Batman? He did Under the Red Hood. And I think he worked... No, he didn't work on War Games. Just Under the Red Hood and this. That's all he worked on for Batman. Yeah. But his issues were really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Take a look view. Next one. 2 digital trades. Talk about next comic corner. Okay? Next video. Bye.